Ethan stepped onto the sprawling campus as the morning sun spilled golden light across the brick pathways. The air smelled of dew and fallen leaves, crisp and fresh. His backpack was frayed, his clothes plain, easily overlooked among the polished students around him. Yet there was a quiet determination in his stride. Each step was deliberate, as though staking a claim in a world that often ignored quiet boys. Laughter and chatter swirled around him, distant yet persistent. To others, he was invisible, but invisibility had its own strength. It allowed him to observe, think, and dream without distraction. Among the bustling students, Clara appeared. Her heels clicked sharply against the pavement, echoing with confidence. She was radiant, her hair perfectly styled, eyes sharp and bright, lips curved in a knowing smile. She noticed him immediately, his quiet posture, measured steps, unassuming confidence. A handkerchief accidentally fell from her bag, drifting near him. Ethan bent instinctively to pick it up. "Thanks," Clara said, brushing a strand of hair from her face, her voice melodic and teasing. "You're thoughtful." That single word lodged itself in Ethan's chest. She lingered just long enough to make him visible, then walked away, leaving a spark that quickened his heart. From that day on, Ethan noticed her everywhere, how she laughed at the right jokes, tilted her head in curiosity, threw fleeting glances his way. Clara didn't just notice him, she invited him to chase her attention. Her manipulations were subtle and deliberate. She left small items accidentally, teased him, and smiled warmly when he pleased her, withdrawing when he faltered. Other boys, wealthier and more polished, often entered her periphery. She deliberately drew his gaze to them, invoking quiet jealousy. Every action was a test, a way to keep Ethan chasing her approval, making him invest effort, time, and emotion. Ethan threw himself into part-time work, convenience stores, deliveries. Each coin he earned went into gifts for Clara, inexpensive flowers, trinkets, humble meals. Every act was a brick in a fragile structure of borrowed happiness, sustained by Clara's attention. He did not see the cracks forming beneath the surface, invisible yet widening with each comparison she made between him and other boys. The breaking point came when Clara left. Her voice was calm, polished, almost cruelly detached. "I need someone who can give me more," she said, moving on to someone easier, more affluent, requiring no effort. Ethan's heart shattered. Humiliation burned, every sacrifice seemingly wasted. He walked the campus paths alone, echoing footsteps in the silence of loss. In that shadow of heartbreak, Lena appeared. She moved like a soft current, unnoticed yet undeniable. Her beauty was effortless, unassuming, calm. She laughed softly, spoke gently, and existed wholly within herself. In her presence, Ethan discovered peace, a stark contrast to the storm of Clara's brilliance. One rainy afternoon, Lena held out an umbrella, sharing it wordlessly with Ethan. The warmth of the gesture struck him deeper than any gift ever could. Together they walked through the rain, the rhythmic patter forming a gentle symphony, a sanctuary from the chaos around them. The library became their refuge. Sunlight poured through tall, dust-speckled windows, illuminating bookshelves heavy with stories. Hours passed unnoticed in shared study, quiet laughter, whispered conversation. Ethan discovered the rare peace of being truly seen, with no performance required, no borrowed attention, no anxious pursuit of approval. Evenings brought simple meals at humble food stalls. Lena's words, "It's enough," echoed in his mind. Happiness, he realized, required no grandeur or cost, just authenticity, companionship, and care. Ethan often reflected on Clara versus Lena. One was a storm of vanity and desire, consuming attention with intensity. The other, a tide of understanding and constancy. Love, he realized, was measured by consistency and the peace of being seen. Not wealth, charm, or effort, but life tested him further. A group of wealthy bullies, Darren, Marcus, and Leo, targeted him relentlessly. From the start, they mocked his clothes, his worn shoes, his multiple part-time jobs. They whispered insults, calling him poor boy and Clara's fool. When words weren't enough, they sabotaged his life in increasingly cruel ways. Marcus tampered with his assignments, removing pages and misplacing deadlines. Leo created crises at the cafe where Ethan worked, causing him to apologize for mistakes he didn't make. Darren whispered lies about Ethan's character to professors and classmates. The harassment was constant, calculated, and relentless. At one point, they orchestrated a public humiliation. a surprise party under the guise of friendship. Marcus had rigged the room with props meant to embarrass Ethan. Leo spread a rumor that he had cheated on an exam. Gasps and whispers filled the room. Ethan's chest tightened, but he stayed calm, explaining himself, producing evidence, and calmly enduring their smirks and murmurs. His quiet composure frustrated the bullies, yet each failed scheme only made them more determined. They escalated, targeting Lena next. Leo made subtle, cutting remarks about her, while Darren spread rumors about her social life and character. Lena's gentle composure and soft smile faltered briefly, and Ethan's restraint snapped. For the first time, he confronted them openly. Every insult was met with measured words, every taunt countered with calm confidence. Fear and intimidation held no sway over him. Still, they were relentless. They sabotaged the college's festival, missing props, misplaced orders, and false rumors designed to destroy his reputation publicly. The audience expected him to fail, but Ethan's perseverance, strategic thinking, and small strokes of luck missing items returned. Supportive classmates speaking up turned every trap into failure for the bullies. Finally, the grand event arrived. The bullies had constructed a meticulously public humiliation. They planted false evidence of failure, rigged a live demonstration, and spread rumors to ensure all eyes were on him. They thought this would be his ultimate breaking point. Instead, the plan collapsed spectacularly. In the chaos, Ethan's secret emerged. He was heir to the wealthiest family alive. Shock rippled through the hall. Gasps and whispers cascaded. But the revelation didn't stop there. His family, observing quietly, stepped in. They exposed every scheme the bullies had orchestrated, revealing their sabotage, lies, and cruelty. Social media posts leaked. Disciplinary action was swift, and every financial and social consequence fell on the bullies. Darren, Marcus, and Leo were left publicly humiliated, their arrogance shattered. Clara trembled as she realized she had misjudged him completely. Her manipulations, her games, had not only failed but backfired. The boy she thought she controlled was now untouchable. Ethan did not gloat. He had learned the freedom of carrying nothing. The power of mercy, anger, revenge, and cruelty would only weigh him down. He walked past the defeated bullies, hand in hand with Lena, whose admiration never wavered. She valued his perseverance, his heart, and his unwavering integrity. The ending was quiet, yet profound. The bullies faced the consequences of their cruelty. Clara confronted the futility of manipulation, and Ethan walked forward free and unbroken. He had endured humiliation, heartbreak, and relentless trials, but love, integrity, and resilience triumphed. Together with Lena, he carried the weight of everything with quiet strength, grace, and freedom, proof that true love, courage, and character require no price, and that justice, when inevitable, is precise and unyielding. 1 year later, the campus had changed subtly. Students moved with the familiar hum of routine, but whispers of Ethan's triumph still lingered. The bullies had transferred or graduated under the weight of social and financial fallout. Darren worked at a small company, his arrogance subdued by repeated failures and public shame. Marcus had failed to secure his family's approval for his actions, and Leo struggled to rebuild his reputation. Each faced the consequences of their cruelty, quietly reminded that manipulation and cruelty never go unchecked. Clara had left the campus entirely, reflecting bitterly on her choices. She saw, in the months that followed, that control and beauty could not bend hearts that were strong and true. Her fleeting fascination with Ethan became a lesson she could neither reverse nor claim. Ethan and Lena, meanwhile, flourished quietly. They walked the campus paths with a serene familiarity, sharing laughter, study sessions, and quiet dinners. He no longer chased approval or recognition. He had learned to value integrity, love, and resilience above all. Lena's gentle hand in his, her calm presence beside him, reminded him daily of the simplicity of real love. Together, they visited the cafe where Ethan had worked, smiling at the memories of small triumphs and humble victories. The library remained their refuge, the food stalls their ritual. And when they passed other students, friends, even those who once whispered cruelty, they carried themselves unshaken, embodying quiet strength and grace. Ethan understood fully now. The weight of everything could be carried without breaking, if borne with love, integrity, and truth. Lena laughed softly, and he realized that happiness, true happiness, had been within reach all along. not in grandeur or recognition, but in simple moments, shared hearts, and a life lived authentically. The boy who endured with nothing had become a man who could carry everything. He did so with mercy, courage, and love. The richest man in the world, with fortunes beyond imagination, yet he lived simply, with humility and grace, never letting gold define him, only his heart.